moving away from the 13-month calendar has been one of the most detrimental things for humanity. Now, I'm going to encourage everyone to go and do your little research on the Gregorian calendar and where it came from, the Julian calendar, where that came from, and then do your research on the 13-month calendar. The 13-month calendar involves 28 days each. And if you know anything about the woman's menstrual cycle, you will know that it is 28 days in length. So ancient populations and groups of people were aligned with natural time. They were looking at the moon cycle. So there were 13 moons in a year. What has happened with the Gregorian calendar is that they have compressed it into 12 months in a year, and they've made these crazy number of days. Sometimes it's 29 days, sometimes it's 28 days, sometimes it's 30 days, sometimes it's 31. That calendar was designed to coincide with the industrial age, agrarian sector, and all sorts of other things that had to do with generating wealth and structuring a society that conforms to the time that they have set. What it means is that we are no longer aligned to natural time, to cosmic time.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.
All right, greetings and in Lakesh. Welcome, Star Family, to Sync Talk, how to tap into cosmic intelligence. I am Neb Taharka Kanishkawak, and I'm glad to be here with you, sharing with you some knowledge to advance yourself and help you evolve in this life experience. All right, so you are truly in for a treat. And so as we move forward here, let's go ahead and make some acknowledgments. I want to say the prayer of the 7 galactic directions. I say this prayer before I do a lot of things to kind of bring things into alignment so I can receive the maximum potential of what I'm here to access. So here we go. From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us so we can see all things with clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us so we may know all from within. That means the answers are within, y'all. Sometimes we're looking outside of ourselves. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action so we may do what must be done. Okay? From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with the harmonies to end all war. And from the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunapku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Maho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right. Let's go ahead and do some acknowledgments to the source of all creation. I also want to give some acknowledgments to the earth, ancestors, star elders, the foundation for the law of time, the Jewel University of Immortal Sciences, Melanin 6, master teachers, the Mimic Priesthood, and the indigenous elders, and all of you who find value in advancing yourself by tapping into your cosmic memory or knowing the value of evolving in this time and in this space that we're in. All right. My name is Neb Taharka Kanishkawak, and I am the founder and chancellor of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. And at the school, we focus on teaching the concepts and the benefits of following different calendrical systems like the 13 moon calendar. We also teach the 260 expressions of the creator, which is called the Tzolk'in calendar. And we also teach about the law of time from a psychological standpoint, time in this sense being the evolution of consciousness, and the law of holonomy, which means we are systems inside of larger systems energetically. Okay. And being able to show how the brain can process consciousness outside of the body to be able to help fulfill the galactic purpose on Earth and clear any karma associated with your soul's memories. And so it is very powerful. We just completed our 3rd season of the Telepathic Remembrance Group, and we will be pre-launching in June the Synchronomics that's coming to help business owners, sole proprietors, etc., be able to generate a revenue and solve economic issues through the cosmic cycles, through the power of synchronicity. So it's going to be very powerful. So stay tuned. There's a lot of powerful stuff coming up. This is the perfect time for you to be tuned in to what's going on at the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. Who are we? We are a progressive group of cosmic beings that are highly intelligent, intuitive, telepathic, and laser beam focused on evolving throughout the journey of remembrance to fulfill our galactic purpose here on Earth. Now, I've gotten to the point where I've made evolution my number one priority, because here's what I found. Here's what my experience has been. Every time I evolve, right, it makes my circumstances and conditions that I've created for myself to live in easier. That's the only thing that I found would do that. So I looked at all my problems and I said, wow, my problems started to disappear because I started to evolve. I started to be God over my problems versus my problems being God over me. All right, so that's an evolutionary statement right there when you can do that. Many of us are consumed by our problems, and we can evolve into not only attracting solutions, but becoming the solution that you seek to attract. Okay, very powerful. Right now, we're an online school, just to give you a heads up. Founded back in July of 2023. We accept students from everywhere. So we closing out our winter 2025 term. We'll be starting our spring term on April 11th. So those of you that do your due diligence and find that you want to study with us and evolve with us, you have ample time to be able to get in position for what's coming up next. The law of time and its relationship with nature is kind of the basis of what we operate, how nature works on our behalf, and then whole mind concept to show us how we are reformulating the universe from within. Because really think about it, we are walking cosmoses. If you put your cells under a microscope, it will look just like the galaxy. So now we need to be able to transmute the energy, right, from the macrocosm into us as the microcosm, so we can be more powerful in this body. All right. So very, very, very excited about that. And so you have to understand and understand and overstand the power of an evolved consciousness. You know, the power of evolved consciousness says the things that we're concerned about today are no longer concerned. The help that we needed yesterday, we don't need today, because we've evolved and loved ourselves enough to advance beyond where we were, where we needed help. Now, we might want help, but you want to be in a position where you don't need it in certain ways, right? So that way nobody can have any type of leverage over you and hang it over your head. So if you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. That is a very strong statement. So what does that mean? Well, releasing the programs that are dominating our mind and having us living a limited version of ourselves. All right. So we have shifted from the information age, just in the last, year, right? We've shifted. The last leap year catapulted us from the information age into the telepathic age of our experience. So what does that mean? That means that intuition and clairsentience and clairaudience and all things are going to be more prevalent for those that are seeking to evolve. You're going to have another group of people that's going to put all their energy into artificial intelligence and use artificial methods for that, but they're going to be limited, right, in being able to carry out their purpose on a spiritual level that way. All right. So with that, telepathy is real. Telepathy speeds everything up. In our group, we did things like we predicted, a mock stock market. We did remote viewing. Remote viewing, being able right now to see what's going on in another place, right? That's beyond discernment. You can see what's happening. You can feel what's happening. And then you can make adjustments and make decisions based on what you are remote viewing with to help take you in the right direction, right? Precognition, being able to predict the future. So these are things that are going to become more prominent. Now, some people are going to wait and see, and some people are going to say, what do I have to lose? I like to be able to do that now. I like to be able to be precognitive about a meeting that I got coming up. It's a big meeting for a big contract. And I need to know how it's going to go or what I need to do so that it's going to go the way I want it to go. Well, moving into the telepathic age and some of these modalities will help you with that. So it's an incredible thing to be able to be very telepathic in this process and anticipate things. And it can really make your life really easy, much easier. Okay. Who owns your time? Now, time in this sense, I want you to write this down if you're new and listening to this for the first time, because a lot of this is for you. All right. Time is the evolution of consciousness from this perspective. This is a fourth dimensional perspective, right? Time is not a mechanical clock or watch or digital watch. Time is the evolution of consciousness. So whoever owns your ability to evolve consciousness, right, owns your mind. Change your time and your concept of time and change your mind. Change your mind and you'll change your world that you live in and experience. Because what you'll find is that the world is a holographic projection of your mind, or a mind. If it's not your mind, you need to figure out what your mind is. All right. All right. So as we are looking at this, so when we realize that the Gregorian calendar, right? The Gregorian calendar, because we've made this shift, is obsolete. It's a calendar of conquest. It's a calendar of capitalism. It's a calendar that represents the time is money paradigm. But the monetary systems and things are crumbling and having to be reconstructed. And so what you want to understand is that you are the new currency. Your frequency is the new currency. And the currency is the set of events that happen in your life, the conditions that happen in your life. And your frequency is attracting that, depending on judgment, depending on how much joy you experience and express, depending on how much compassion you share, how much love you have for yourself, is going to determine what you attract into your life experience. And we show you those type of things in your life. So the Gregorian calendar evolves programs and limits the mind into a logic, the left brain, the logic and reasoning side of the brain. So you can't get out of it that way. You're going to have to evolve into a whole mind, the right brain and the left brain together, in order to really see who you are and what you can offer this life experience on this planet. All right. So let's talk more into, how to tap into cosmic intelligence. Now, those of you that are listening, I want you to understand that I want you to listen to this with the mindset that when you tap into cosmic intelligence, you now have increased your probabilities and possibilities and capabilities, right, by 1,000,000+ fold. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the intelligence of the cosmos that has created the universe, that's created the multiverse, that's created all the galaxies, right, that have life forms on this planet, and that created you and I, right, is the originator from the source of all creation. But what you'll understand is that the power of God in you is part of that source. It's a microcosm of that source, which means that when you tap into yourself, the power of God in you, you now tap into the primal force, right? The primal trust that created the cataclysmic energy that produced what we are experiencing life as now, what produced the cosmos. And it's the same thing when the sperm met the ovum, okay? The sperm, right? It's just the sperm and the ovum, two things came together. And now you got people that are grown adults that are walking around with hundreds of trillions of cells in their body. Each of those hundreds of trillions of cells are waiting for commands for you. If you say, hey, I'm the greatest, those 100 trillion cells are now banding together and to create the experience of you're the greatest. If you say, hey, I just can't cut it, okay? Well, them 100 trillion cells are saying that. So when you tap into cosmic intelligence, you're tapping into the deepest aspect of yourself to really experience the fullest expression of yourself of being God in the body. Okay? And that overrides whatever these artificial programs are telling us, right? It's telling us if you're this color, you can't do this. If you're this gender, you can't do that. We don't even operate by that type of methodology, right? See, the cosmos, it takes you beyond the material plane, beyond the material world, beyond artificial intelligence. And guess what? What's significant about that is it takes we marvel at artificial intelligence, but who created it? How was it created? Right? And so what I want you to focus on, especially you new people, is not artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is here to serve us. That's little a, little I. I want you to focus on and meditate on absolute intelligence. And in the world of the absolute, everything has already been created, the past and the future. You just have to be present to determine what you want to experience in this moment. What reality? If you look at the fifth dimension as, beyond these clouds, there's a fifth dimension up here with all these alternate realities. You're listening to this session right now, but you could be a millionaire, a gazillionaire somewhere. You could be with the partner of your dreams. You could be, having optimal health. There's a reality up there and a level of consciousness that supports that. All we have to do is be able to download that, to reach it and download that into the brain and let it go through the corpus callosum, the cerebral spinal fluid, right? And reach the heart chakra. So the heart chakra can let the plasma of that frequency change the blood quality of the body. Think about how powerful that is. It's the plasma, right? Which you'll find is consciousness travels through plasma. And as it permeates your corpus callosum and your cerebral spinal fluid, this plasma that has the thought field of this alternate reality that you want to experience instead of what you're experiencing now. You now start taking on the awareness and the consciousness and the behavior of that consciousness while in the physical body. And then you start to experience the reality that was once an alternate reality going on right now in the land of the absolute that is now being experienced in your reality right now on the planet, on the gravitational plane, right? So you got to be able to raise your level of consciousness to reach the level of the alternate reality that you want to experience so that you now can experience that on a day-to-day basis. It is extremely powerful when you look at it like that. So little a, little I, right, is artificial intelligence. Big A, big I is absolute intelligence. Now, which one do you think has more power? There's a whole cosmos that backs absolute intelligence. And then there's a whole matrix that backs the artificial intelligence. Which one is stronger? See, it's real easy when you look at it like that. So which one are you going to have an allegiance to? One teaches you programs to program you, right, to be a limited version of yourself. The other shows you the synchronicities that you can align with and follow that makes you an unlimited being of self. Think about the power in that. So this is the mindset that I want you to be thinking about when we're talking about how to tap in to cosmic intelligence. First, you got to want to tap into it because you got to know the vastness and the power that you're able to do that with through this human experience. So when we look at cosmic intelligence deals with cosmic cycles. Okay. All right. It has a natural flow of synchronicities. It has a natural movement of geometry and planets aligning with each other, and they're communicating with each other during these alignments. And your highest expression of yourself, your fifth dimensional body and your spirit knows these alignments and are able to decode these alignments and speak to you through intuition. You don't need to take that job. You're going to need to move to this other place and take that job. And it's going to be inconvenient. You're going to say, nah, I think I'm going to just keep this one. And then you're going to find out that job blew up. It turned out it would have been a super success if you would have done it. And you said, man, I should have listened to my intuition. The reason why people don't listen to their intuition is because the intuition is speaking to them at a higher level than where they are in terms of their consciousness. So it just don't feel right. You're like, damn, I don't know, this might be the devil. No, when it comes from your heart, you'll know. If you ask and you prayed about something and meditated on something and intended something, and then it showed up to you, it just didn't show up the way that you think we should show up or it should show up, because the way you think based on your linear mind or where your consciousness is may be different than the way intuition is trying to guide you. So intuition is the key to speaking to you so you can focus your will and align it with divine will and allow the divinity of the will to help magnetize the experience that you want. That's what happens. So with divinity and in intuition comes instructions. So my question to you, no matter how good this may sound or not good to you, how well do you follow instructions? Everybody ever heard of the saying, ask and you shall be given? I always be asking, well, yeah, I be asking for a lot of stuff. But what when I ask what is going to be given. And I'll tell you, a lot of times what you ask for won't be given to you right away. But what will be given to you are some instructions. And if you take those instructions as a divine being and implement them, don't add nothing and don't take nothing away from it. Do it exactly the way that the download showed you. Then you'll always win. I've done it. It's 100%. Every time I've done it, it's worked. And I've done it a lot of times. I've done it with the telepathic group. I've done it with starting the synchronous human. I've done it when intuition, when I asked for how to master this cosmology, and you guess what? Intuition said, you're going to teach it. Well, I've never been a teacher, intuition. That's okay. You're going to become one real fast. This is what you need to do. Now, I could have resisted that. And so 9 years later, this is my 21st. On Thursday, we will have completed our 21st consecutive semester of teaching. And I never was a teacher. That's how I know anybody can do it. And if I'm willing to show with you what I did, if that's something you want to do or something else you wanted to have success, why couldn't you do it? Same thing with coaching. Intuition said, you know what? You need to start coaching people so they'll learn this cosmology faster, they'll evolve faster. I said, nope, I don't want to do that, because that means I got to take all my time with one person, and they may not fully listen to me, and if they don't listen to me, then they're not going to have success. It's going to make my coaching look bad. See, that was lack thinking. But intuition continued to speak to me, said, no, this is something that's going to help you one-on-one learn how to integrate these concepts on a day-to-day basis. And I still was fighting it, but I just want to do group stuff. I don't want to do, because I'm thinking business, I'm thinking leveraging. No, one-on-one coaching. Do it. This is how you do it. I started that 5 years ago, and now we've exceeded over 1,200 one-on-one coaching sessions. This is what cosmic intelligence has done for me, right? It spoke to me through the spirit. The spirit has spoken to my will, right? My conscious mind through intuition, and my will and obedience has carried it out. And each one of those projects was super success. Same thing with the telepathic remembrance group. Build a telepathic community. Well, I never did that before. That's okay. You got the cosmology, and this is exactly what you do. And I followed those steps exactly. And so now, we haven't had a super success, like we got hundreds of thousands of people, but we have had about 15 to 20 people, in these 3 terms that are excited about remote viewing and tapping into that aspect of themselves, right? So cosmic, you got to know the language of cosmic intelligence and how it speaks to you. And the power is it never is wrong, because it follows the synchronic order. I like what Ken 173, Chester Stark said. He said, we are cosmic intelligence, right? We are that. Why? Because we're a walking cosmos. Look at all the cells in our bodies. It looks just like the universe, right? So what are some things that we can do? Let me tell you. Well, what helps you tap into cosmic intelligence is, one, the knowledge of cosmic cycles. These Gregorian cycles, they're not designed to tap you into the cosmos. First is a 12-month calendar, and 12 is not the number of the cosmos. 13 is. Even though there's a 12-month calendar, I showed Paula Herdock at the beginning talking about the significance of the 13 moon calendar. Because why? Because the moon has 13 cycles a year, not 12. Right? So now we've cut off the cosmos by not adding the other cycle, not adding the other constellation, Ophiuchus, right, to the astrology. So, but to evolve, we need to bring in the cosmos, and we bring in something called cosmic memory. Now, scientists say that we have hundreds of millions of years and years and years of memory stored in the back of our brain. Think about that. All right. Why would we be carrying around so much memory? Because that's the key codes to accessing the greater level of consciousness that we operate, right, with, so that we can be more dynamic as spiritual beings in the body. Okay. So accessing your cosmic memory is a key factor in what? Accessing cosmic intelligence. All right. Also, you got to have vision as a source of intelligence. So with the vision, right, the vision that you have, right, it gives you a projection of something beyond where you are. And so vision, the first thing of vision is the imaging. The imaging comes in first. Before the vision comes, you have to determine, how do you see your self-image? How do you see yourself? If you see yourself as somebody who's less than, then you may have the vision, but you're going to have to find somebody else who has the self-image to carry out the vision, or you ain't going to be able to cut it, right? You already got to be able to see yourself as in the self-image, in the image of God, that you already have the capabilities to carry out and bring this vision into manifestation, bring it into fruition. But if you have the vision and say, but I don't know, I think I may need some more training. I don't know, I may need some more schooling. Then the vision will be out there, but you probably will see it get attained by someone else. You see? So vision as a source of intelligence, right, will show you this is how you need to adjust your self-image to be able to bring this vision into fruition. Receptivity and timelessness. You got to be able to be open and receptive to higher states of consciousness so that you can evolve the consciousness and go beyond and create the situation that you want to experience. So receptivity, a lot of the times we are excellent givers and poor receivers, but those are two different sides of the same coin. Right? To be a giver, you got to have a receiver. To have a receiver, you got to be able to be a giver. Right? And so in lieu of that, receptivity of the key codes of how to advance yourself. Not, I'm not knocking going and getting a reading, but you want to become your own oracle. Because as the prayer said, and that's why I did the prayer from the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us. So we know all is an absolute term from where? Within. There's a spiritual solution to every problem within. And then you see how everything else lines up with who you are versus what you're reading outside of yourself that may or may not be in alignment with the consciousness you're evolving through. Okay. So it's very powerful. Here's another one. And timelessness is just like ageless, right? Timelessness means that doesn't mean that there's no time, right? Timelessness means that the evolution of consciousness has no end. That's what it means. You can keep evolving your consciousness into infinitum. And if you can keep evolving your consciousness, why wouldn't you? Because now you have power over everything that you experience in this reality. Whew. This is some good stuff, y'all. All right, let's talk about fearlessness and questioning. All right, so part of tapping into cosmic intelligence is you have to have a state of fearlessness in you. You got to stop fearing criticism from other people. You got to stop fearing old age. You got to stop fearing, right, death. You got to stop fearing embarrassment. You see, you got to stop fearing failure. You got to stop fearing success. You know, most people fear success. More people fear success over failure because with success comes responsibility. With success becomes accountability. With success becomes work. Okay. So being fearless and being willing to question everything, even this, question it, right? The question, you become more intelligent. The more intelligent questions you have, the more intelligent answers you receive, the more intelligence you will acquire before you take on an endeavor, right? Here's something else, meditating during cosmic events. What about solar eclipses? What about full moons? What about being able to meditate? We have a 6 or 7 planets aligned here on Friday, right? Being able to meditate on that. Now, why would you meditate? Different star alignments, different constellations. Why would you meditate on that? Well, it's really powerful. We had a group last night, and we were meditating on certain number patterns, and a couple people came back to me and said that I told them they would have some insights from that, and they said, "Man, I had a download." I said, "I told you, I had a download about that. That was really powerful." You know what I'm saying? And so with that, when you meditate, you receive a direct transmission from the stars, from the moon, from the different cosmic event that you were experiencing. And all you got to do that is allow the insights to come and journal it and see what that means to you based on where you are in your life. You see? So I like what Moon Goddess just said, see the self-image of yourself in the vision. If you don't see the self-image thriving, right? If you don't see that thriving within yourself in the vision, then you ain't gonna experience it. You're gonna see somebody else experiencing the vision that you had in your mind, and you're gonna be on the outside looking in saying, dang, I wish that was me, right? It can be you, but you already got to know it's yours to claim, right? And I'll tell you something else that works really good with tapping into cosmic intelligence: stargazing, moon gazing, and sun gazing. But there's proper ways to do it. Stargazing, a lot of times you want to do at 3 or 4 in the dawning, okay? Because that's when the stars are going to be brightest out there before all the clouds come, etc. Sometimes the clouds are there, they won't move. But a lot of times, 3, 4 a.m., you know, if you stargaze for an hour, man, there's all kind of insights that you can come from those stars. You don't look at the stars as something separate than yourself. Look at the stars as part of your mind, and it's transmitting signals to you, right? The star mind is transmitting signals to you and guiding you. That's why people, when they were traveling, they follow the stars, right? Moon gazing, sun gazing. You know, you sun gazing is important. I don't want anybody to just go out there try to sun gaze tomorrow. There's some instructions for that, and you typically want to sun gaze the first hour of sunrise and the last hour of sundown. Okay, that's when the sun is least intense, and you want to start out 10 seconds at a time. Okay, and you can, you know, gaze into the sun, right, for 10 seconds. Day 1 would be 10 seconds. Day 2 would be 20 seconds. Day 3 would be 30 seconds, like that. And you can go pretty far. We had some people that go up to 45 minutes like that, but it's a whole process because it's a buildup, right? And then those insights, right, from the sun affects your mind, the plasma in your mind, a certain kind of way. And now you have different insights. And so people say, well, Neb Taharka, what do I do with these insights? Well, you record them, you write them down, right? After you get certain insights, a lot of times you might get a download out of the blue. You're like, well, where did that come from? And then if you learn the principle of asking, right, for instructions, right? So how is this supposed to work? How do I take this and integrate it into my life, what I just got downloaded to me? Or how is this going to be a part of my mission? And then boom, you're going to get instructions verbatim. And if you write them down, right, and you open it, you don't block it, you'll have a ready-made plan that's foolproof, that's fail-proof, because follow your heart. To change your mind, you got to change your heart. That's why I said, as a man, as a woman thinketh in his or her heart, then so is she, then so is he. What is that heart thing? You got to see it in your heart. If it's just in your mind, it ain't going to be enough, because your mind is going to self-sabotage because of guilt and other self-defeating thoughts, right? That you blame yourself for what you did in the past. So you got to get that image in your heart, right? You got to see yourself accomplishing the vision in your heart. And when it registers in your heart beats and radiates out the frequency to attract the resources, people, places, and things to make it happen beyond where your intelligence is, beyond what you think. The resources are already there. You just have to be on that frequency. So this is phenomenal. And you know, of course, this is just enough information to make you dangerous. Having, you know, the right way to practice these things is very important. But this can get you started, right? This can get you started on the path of being a sovereign being and not have to rely on governments to govern your mental, not have to worry. Imagine what it's like to not have to worry about who the president is. Imagine what that's like to have the influence. What you think? The president got more influence than the cosmos? You see? So he has to be in alignment with the cosmos in universal law. And if he's not, there's hell of a karma to operate. So you don't have to try to be the law on these different dignitaries and different government officials and things of that nature. They have to answer to universal law and karmic laws, the law of karma dharma, right? And let me tell you, that's enough. Believe me, that's enough. All right, so you don't have to worry about anything else. So the solution is to evolve into your cosmic mind. And the more you do that, the more you're going to find that your problems and your issues in your tissues are going to melt away. All right. And so the solution is, first, I'll tell you, stage one is start following the 13 moon calendars. Why? Because now you're tapping into a heavenly body that's revolving around the earth every 28 days, right? And that those cycles can help also bring you insights, right, of how it's in relation with the earth, how it controls the water levels. And those 13 cycles are synonymous with the female menstruation cycle. That's what Paula Herdock was talking about, right? So we study Olmec and Mayan cosmology, and what we found is the 13 moon calendar helps disrupt systemic programming from artificial calendrical systems, right? Now it's going to produce, when you start doing that, because you've been doing what? The 12-month calendar your whole life. So it's going to create a conflict. Here's how you overcome the conflict, right? Because the programming is what you're comfortable with, but the programming is reducing your consciousness into being less than God. The synchronicity, following the synchronicity, is a faith walk, and it's going to show you how to evolve beyond where you are in state of consciousness you are, so you can be the most dynamic version of yourself in the body. All right, so we're in the galactic moon, and we're on the 20th, what we call plasma, right? And this is this 20th plasma is connected to the solar plexus chakra, your willpower, right? And so when we do that, the affirmation today on the 260-day calendar is, and we call the 260-day calendar the 260 expressions of the Creator, the 260 versions of the Creator. And these different versions are showing up in your mind to give you insights on how to evolve in these different dimensions. So 234, kin 234, the 234th expression of the Creator is called the White Cosmic Wizard. Look at that. We're talking about a tap into cosmic intelligence, and we're talking about the Cosmic Wizard. What is it going to say to us? Well, it states, the affirmation reads as follows. It states, I endure in order to enchant. Now, what are we? I'm going to talk about what we're enduring in just a second. I endure in order to enchant. Transcending, going beyond receptivity. I seal the output of timelessness with the cosmic tone of presence. I am guided by the power of endlessness. That means there's no end once this thing gets in motion, right? I endure. What am I enduring? Well, the spiritual evolution and evolutionary communications, because we're in the evolutionary cycle of the wind, or what we call the white wind, which is synonymous with the spirit, right? The spirit of the human is signified by the breath. The spirit of the earth is signified by the wind. The spirit of the sun is signified by the solar winds. You see, so the wind arises out of nowhere. So I endure the spiritual evolutionary cycles so I can enchant, take great delight and joy in my experience, transcending receptivity. So I'm not only receptive, I'm going beyond receptivity now into compassion. I seal the output of timelessness. So now I'm expressing that I'm going to continue to keep evolving no matter what, because it's available. But in order for me to do that, I have to be present. I can't be scattered. I can't be multitasking all the time, thinking I'm going to evolve. And I'm guided by the power, the order, and the reflection of endlessness. There's no end to this evolution of consciousness, right? It's timeless and it's endless, all right? So with that being stated, just a couple of announcements before we go. Tomorrow, we're going to have New Kin orientation by one of the Synchronistic Humans' finest, Kin 181, Moon Goddess Ambrosia. If you're on here, if you know Moon Goddess, and if you had a chance to witness her power and everything that she does, she is flat out amazing. She flies through the air with the greatest of ease. I'm telling you. This sister is deep. She's powerful. She's polished. And you can get a chance to witness that for yourself by tapping in. We have a session called New Kin Orientation, so we can get you familiar with your galactic purpose, right? And how to integrate that into day-to-day life to help you be more successful in business, in your career, a more successful parent, a more successful at healing yourself and in relationships, etc. So she is flat out amazing. I'm glad that we have her to do this. And that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. All right. This coming up Sunday, we're going to talk about your life as a reflection of your vision. Okay. Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I recommend that you dial in about 10 minutes early. We got some nice waiting music for you to get you in the mood for the message. And then we go ahead and we get started. It's going to be a phenomenal session. I want to invite all of you. You're invited to listen and see how we can evolve together. We are unifying on one premise, and that's evolution, evolving together, right? And then mark your calendars for March the 24th, 2025. We're going to be doing something called the 260 Kin Quantum Leap Meditation. So this is where we're going to take everybody. They're going to have their particular kin number, and we're going to get on and meditate all together with as many as the kin as possible. We have all 260. That's great. And so you can register by going to our site and registering your kin, or do a request to receive your kin number so you can register and you start learning about your kin between now and then. So when you meditate, very powerful and dynamic things can happen very quickly. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Are there any questions that you have about tapping into cosmic intelligence? If there is, I definitely would like to take a few minutes and answer them right now. You can also always email me. You can email me at nebtaharka@synchronicichuman.com. Also, if this is really empowering you, and you said, man, I never heard nothing like this, it's really powerful, and you want to send a donation, I'll put some donation links into the chat here. If you want to donate to the school, you like what we're doing, you want to see us continue to do it, we definitely not getting funded for it. So, all donations matter as well if you like to. All right. So, my thought process is this: take some time and go back through this replay and see, how you can position yourself. Because once you access your cosmic memory, you have in your mind, and the brain and the mind are different. You have in your mind all the different levels of consciousness you can evolve through memory. And once you can evolve to a higher level of consciousness, it's just like, it's no different than myself, right? I'm 52, and if I was to go back to high school, I would run circles around. High school would be like such an easy breezy because I've reached a level of consciousness that I know how everything works. So it wouldn't be something I wouldn't have a lot of trouble there. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of us, we need to evolve beyond our circumstances so that we can take charge of our circumstances versus our circumstances taking charge of us. I'm on top of the world versus the world being on top of me, because I'm creating it. I'm creating it through a holographic projection of my mind. And you are doing it too. But you may not be aware that we may be taking on some of the programs that's causing us to operate as a limited version of that. Okay, so definitely email me if you have questions. Check out the site, join our family. You want to join in on the sessions and be a part of our evolution team. Everything is good. Let's end with the declaration of evolution. So if you feel comfortable about evolving, I recommend that you now make this a declaration, because that's how we send a message to the universe that we're making a significant change. And when we send that message, the next thing that's on notice is our subconscious mind, right? And our subconscious mind, you got to keep hearing it, because the subconscious mind continues to play back to us the experiences that we've already had. So let's end with the declaration of evolution. I will say I, and then say your name. You'll hear me repeat my name. But when you hear me repeat my name, say your name. Hereby declare that I will. And then we're going to go through each bullet point one at a time. Let's do this. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will make evolution my number one priority. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will clear any karma associated with my existence once revealed. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will discover, carry out, and become my purpose. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will remove any judgments that I have of myself and others. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare will look for and remove any spiritual blockages or misalignments. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will end any cycles that don't support my evolutionary process. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will show compassion for all beings in all the species on the planet. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will be patient with my process and others going through their process as well. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will be disciplined and focused when things get challenging, and they will get challenging. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will listen to my intuition and carry out its instructions when received. I say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will ultimately strive for self-mastery. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe. Oh, and so it is. Whew. That was intense. On behalf of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment and all of its students and all of you who had the wherewithal and the foresight to listen, I want to thank you for joining our session. And I will say, in Lakesh, I am another you, Alakim. You are another me, Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And remember, evolution is the solution. Watch the video on the way out. Peace.
Moving away from the 13-month calendar has been one of the most detrimental things for humanity. Now, I'm going to encourage everyone to go and do your little research on the Gregorian calendar and where it came from, the Julian calendar, where that came from, and then do your research on the 13-month calendar. The 13-month calendar involves 28 days each. And if you know anything about the woman's menstrual cycle, you will know that it is 28 days in length. So ancient populations and groups of people were aligned with natural time. They were looking at the moon cycle. So there were 13 moons in a year. What has happened with the Gregorian calendar is that they have compressed it into 12 months in a year, and they've made these crazy number of days. Sometimes it's 29 days, sometimes it's 28 days, sometimes it's 30 days, sometimes it's 31. That calendar was designed to coincide with the industrial age, agrarian sector, and all sorts of other things that had to do with generating wealth and structuring a society that conforms to the time that they have set. What it means is that we are no longer aligned to natural time, to cosmic time.